Hello everybody. We're going to go ahead and start talking about how to create a graph that dynamic. It's only going to show one piece of the data directly. So we have these names of employees, starting with the name Rhoda, Isam, John, Kathy, Al, Miriam, Ronnie, and April. Putting their cells far away because also I'm going to hide this later. So we're going to be moving the cells from here to here if it fits certain criteria. Let's go ahead and put this here to explain how we're going to use this. If I put here the value 1, so in order for me to move this one here to this total, I wanted to go ahead and say if the row, which is going to return for me the row which is number 2, and I know here I'm making a mistake, don't worry about it because I'm going to go ahead and fix it right away. If the row, which is a function built in it, is going to return for me the number of the row, which is 2, I need to subtract 1 for it because really this is the very first piece of data, less than or equal to this one here, and I'm going to go ahead and lock it. Okay, I'm pressing here F4, and if that is the case, then we're going to say K2, move K2 to this cell. Otherwise, go ahead and display the error message, which is in A. Okay, return the error value not available. Okay, value is not available. So that's what we're going to do. Again, I'm sorry, because value is not available, it's going to have basically 2 parentheses after the NA. Alright, so if I drag this down, as you notice, it's going to give me all error. However, if I change this to 2, then it's going to pull it. If I change this to 3, it's going to pull it. And I'm going to go ahead and notice here. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 pieces of data. So the largest value is going to be 8, which is going to pull all of them. Alright, here I'm going to go ahead and put 8, and notice that it's going to show. If I do put 9, there is nothing to show here because there is no corresponding 9, but if there is some value here, it will move to there. So it's going to work even for a larger, for later, if we added additional names and additional values, it's going to work. If I put 0 here, it's going to start, everything is, a value is not available. How that is going to work? So the row is going to return 1 minus, first of all, 2 minus 1 is going to 1. If that less than or equal to whatever value here, in this case it's 0, so it's false, because 1 is not less than 0, less than or equal. So it's going to go ahead and give me that not available value in the cell. The same thing for everything, but if I change this to 3, say here, say I want to go ahead and do that 3, and if you notice, it's going to do actually the first 3 pieces of data because this is 1 is less than or equal to 3, that's true. 2 is less than or equal to 3, it's true. 3 is less than or equal to 3 is true. And for this one is 4, because that's the number of the row, minus, actually it's 5 minus 1 is 4. It's not less than or equal to 3, so it's going to show me that not available data. The same thing for everything else. At least now we understand how we did actually came up with the row function, and how did we actually test the if statement and see how it works in order to return that piece of data here or to show the non-available error. So this is what we're going to do. First of all, I wanted to go ahead and add another piece of control, which is, we call it control because it's a graphic, which is going to be the scroll bar. I'm going to go ahead and go to the developer. We all know if a developer is not there, we need to go ahead and look at the option here, and we're going to make sure that the custom ribbon is being clicked here, and make sure that the developer is being checked on. You see here, right here, if I unchecked it, it's going to go away. If I checked it, it's going to display as one of the ribbon. So we're going to click on here, and I'm going to go ahead and insert, go to the insert, and I'm going to look at the scroll bar. Do not mess up with the ActiveX control. It's a little bit advanced for us at this moment, but we're going to concentrate on the form controls. So I'm going to go ahead and get this one here, and it depends. If you wanted to do it vertically, you can do that scroll bar vertically, or in this case I don't want it vertically. I could go ahead and get it as a horizontal. I wanted to get it as a horizontal piece of control, which is really give me a, here we go, and I'm going to go ahead and click on it, and I'm going to go ahead and draw this. And actually, let's go ahead and do that right away. We're going to hide the cell behind the cell. As long as you see those little dots around it, that means this control, the scroll bar is selected. So I could click the right button in order to format the control. I'm going to say the current value is 0. That's fine. The minimum value is 0. That's means no data whatsoever. The maximum value, we could put it, you know, if we know we're going to grow with the list of the data, we could put it like 20. But I'm going to stick with the 8 because assuming that we're not going to go any farther. The incremental change is going to be 1. And the cell link, as we agreed, it's going to be behind the scroll bar, which is C1. It's going to be C1. But I'm going to lock it also because I don't want it to be moving with me. So it's $C, $C1, $1. So it should be locked. And here we go. So we know it's going to go behind it. Now look here. If I go outside of the control, because I don't want it to get it focused, so if I click here 1, see here, it's going to show me, every time I click on it, it's going to show me the next value because behind X, behind the control, let me go ahead and show it to you so you don't get confused over it. I'm going to pull that here quickly, and notice if I clicked here, it's going to increment by 1. If I click on this one here, it's going to be decremented by 1, meaning it's going to reduce the value by 1. So that's why I'm going to click the right button again to move it and hide this, because the people who are watching me, I should not be able to see it. The other thing that I need to do is to make sure that if I have the value here as the error message, value is not available, I really should not show it to my audience. I should not show it to my audience. So the fact that I can trick this by doing it this way, I'm going to select everything. You need to select everything. And we're going to go to Home, and we're going to go to Conditional Formatting, and we're going to go to a New Rules, and the new rule is going to be using a formula. The formula is going to use the function if is in a. That means if the function inside the cell is data is not available, starting with the cell B2, because I did select the whole range, it's going to move from B2 to B3 all the way to B9 in this case, as long as there is a selection. And if that is the case, we're going to go to the format, and we're going to change the font, not the fill, the font. And I'm going to change the color to white. So if there is a value, to change the font to 1. So white on the top of white is not going to show. And that's really where is the trick that I'm going to, you see here, we don't see them anymore. They are still there. They are still there, but we don't see them. So now if I put here, this one here, I moved 1, 2, 3, and the others are still actually no not available value, the error, as long as there is no value in it. And I'm going to go ahead and select everything here and turn it into a dollar sign. And now we're going to go ahead and do the graph. I'll go ahead and fix this a little bit, move it around so it looks much better. And we're going to go ahead and start the graph. First of all, I'm going to go to this guy here and hide it. So I don't want to see it because the user should not be able to see it as well. And we're going to start completely with 0. So also, because that's the whole trick, is to show one piece of a data at a time. So I'm going to go ahead and insert before we do anything to it, select the whole thing. I'm going to select it. Okay. And we're going to go and do a scatter line. And I'm going to choose, let's say, which one would be, maybe line would be better. We're going to choose the line right here. Okay. Or this one right here. Yeah, I like this one better. And of course, we could go ahead and drag it a little bit. Maybe squeeze it a little bit so we could control it. And the first thing that I wanted to do, if you recall, the largest value was 1200 and the smallest value was almost 320. I took a note of this. So let's go ahead and fix this. I'm going to click on this area, the format axis, and I wanted to make the minimum value at 300. So that's really will look better. And the maximum value, we wanted to have it 1200. Okay, 1200. Okay, here, 1200. And of course, we're going to leave this one here. Let's do it as 100 increments for the major unit. Okay, we're going to hit enter, and also need to scroll that down to confirm that. Okay, actually, you could go ahead and close it. And those are the names right here. So the names are exactly what I want to show them. If I wanted to go ahead and change the name, and I could go to the home and even make those names in the alignment side of it. If you notice here, I could go ahead and I could click on the right button and align them, but there is enough space for them, so let's leave them alone for now because I'm anxious to get to the actual graph. So look here, when we start with this one here, okay, that's the first value, 980. That's the second value, dropped to 344. This is 300. Obviously, it wasn't really 320. It was 300. So immediately that goes up, down, up. It doesn't matter. As you notice here, the chart is really doing it one at a time. Again, if you want to disappear, one more at a time. Here, so the audience will be able to see that. And immediately, of course, we could go ahead and change this by calling it here total sales by name, total sales by name. Okay, and I could go ahead and go to the format. Okay. In 2013 is a little bit different than 2010. In the design, they have the add chart elements, and that in 2010 we had 3 sub-ribbon. We have design, format, and we have also the layout. So I'm going to say here X primary horizontal, and I'm going to put also a primary vertical, and this way we'll be able to say here sale. So I'm going to go ahead and say sale, and notice here change, and here we're going to go ahead and say employee, the name of the employee, starting with Rhoda all the way to April. And here we go. We could go ahead and see if everything's going to look good, one at a time, one click at a time. Here we go. Okay, so I hope you enjoyed this video. I'm looking forward to share more of these videos with you in the near future. Thank you and have a great day.